completely one-sided deal with Cuba.
His tougher approach will prevent U.S. dollars from being used to fund Cuba's government. It will also enforce stricter bans on Americans traveling there as tourists, a policy that will have major ramifications.
85% of our clients are Americans. Because of their power, they're the kings of the world, as the saying goes. Now, if Trump decides to reduce how many come in for tourism, it will create chaos.
¿Me entiende? Sería un caos.
Well, I hope from my experience in Cuba that we'll continue to have the opportunity to travel the world, including Cuba. It's been, I believe, a great opportunity for the people living here to meet Americans and, to help support the economy.
The Trump administration has said the change in position is about empowering ordinary Cubans and holding the government to account, arguing Obama's reforms have done nothing to advance political freedoms.
To the Cuban government, I say, put an end to the abuse of dissidents. Release the political prisoners. Stop jailing innocent people. Open yourselves to political and economic freedoms. Return the fugitives from American justice.
Although President Trump's new policy stops short of closing embassies and breaking off diplomatic ties, its effects can be keenly felt in communities in both Cuba and America. While some see this as a setback, many Cuban Americans see this moment as a victory.
As Trump puts his signature on his policy, he puts an end to what could have been a significant chapter in America.
I think the Cuban government is probably quietly quite relieved that the announcement of the presidential directives wasn't harsher today. I think they're braced for the worst. Remember, behind Trump's rhetoric, and of course, as you say, saying mainly to his base, behind saying that he's cancelled the deal, he's left in place the new flights that the Obama administration allowed for. He's left in place the new cruises that the Obama administration allowed for. He's left in place the 3 American hotels that are currently the Obama administration allowed for, and Airbnb and American tourists staying in Havana, even though it's going to be more difficult for them to come now, can still continue to stay both in hotels and in Capital Flores and private houses. So they were braced for the worst, and really there's a lot of bluster in this, and there are real policy changes that is going to hurt the Cuban economy, but it could have been a lot worse. In terms of how it will affect Cubans, overwhelmingly Cubans, whether or not they agree with the government here or not, want further relations with Cuba, want normalization. They don't like this aberrant state of affairs, and it's going to be hurting the pockets of Cubans that are increasingly living off the tourist economy. Tourism now in Cuba is the second biggest sector in the Cuban economy.
And Trump has confirmed in his favourite way that he's under investigation for sacking the FBI director, James Comey. In a tweet, Trump appeared to refer to the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, who recommended Comey's dismissal, saying, "I'm being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director." Witch hunt. 7 US Navy sailors are missing after their ship collided with a Philippine merchant vessel off the coast of Japan. The USS Fitzgerald is now being towed back into port. The captain of the destroyer and some crew members have been airlifted